Be strong.
Welcome in. It is weird that I am doing this by myself. So with that in mind, I am here to answer start sit questions. We'll see if we can't get these out of the way and really help you guys get ready for Sunday. A lot of big injuries happening, Cooper potentially being out, all this good stuff. But here we are. It's going to be a blast. I'm excited to do this. First ever. Let's get this going. Let's see. First one I see is, oh, hey, Anthony. How's it going, man? Welcome in for sure. But sweet. And Soaring Eagles back. Okay, looking at this, I really hate starting tight end to start off. So it really depends on what you're looking for here. It's most likely going to be Davis, just because he is the tight end that you want, or the wide receiver with the most upside. I do like Henry. I do think he's a safer option, but it's too tough for me to allow him to be my starter as your flex for sure. And he does have a good matchup and has been used in a good, but again, it's only been 1 week, so it's really hard to tell. So I'm still going to lean Davis there just because he does have more upside. Next one is Daryl. All right, Daryl, let's see here. Full PPR, Justice Hill or Roschon Johnson. I absolutely cannot trust a Baltimore running back. With that in mind, I'm going to go with Johnson here. The fact that Deontay Foreman's out makes it much more appealing, and they did use him a lot. Granted, it was in most of when the game was salted away, they had no chance of coming back. But I am curious to see what the upside of Johnson can be. So that's how I lean there. And then Anthony has 10-man league question. Dylan, Hopkins, Hall, or David Montgomery? God, that's tough. So I would probably play it safe here and go with Hall. I think he's used more in PPR. Montgomery's going to get the goal line work for Detroit, but they didn't use him as much as I expected. And with Gibbs showing really great flashes, I'm definitely going to go with Hall there for sure. I just can't trust anybody else. Hopkins being beat up and only now deciding he's going to play. Don't love that. And I do like Dylan, but I'm not a huge fan of the matchup. And I still want to see how that Green Bay offense really gets rolling. So it's definitely going to be Hall there just to be safe. Hey, Ryan's back. All right, Ryan, let's see here. Nakua, Sutton, Herbert, or Collins? I'm really high on Collins, so that's who I would be rolling with here. I can't trust Puka just because of the fact that it's been a 1 week thing. It's a tough matchup this week for sure. Sutton, Judy's potentially back. I don't love the matchup for him either. And then I do like Herbert, but the way they used him last week has me a little iffy on it, and that offense always makes me nervous for the Bears. So definitely going to leave Collins there for sure. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Any additional stuff popping up currently? We got Titans. Oh, sweet. Schultz, Joanna Hurst. All right. This is. I'm going to go with Hurst here. The fact that I don't trust the Texans offense and the Colts are okay. I do like Juwan Johnson, but I want to see how that continues to work out. Thomas has really kind of taken it into his targets. And now that Miller is potentially going to be having some more snaps, I think that takes away from him as well. So I'm still going to stick with Hurst here for sure. Mm. So, is that just a tight end? All right, I'm going to keep up. Again, the only issue I have with Ferguson in that is the fact that it's going to be a game that Cowboys should control again. We saw how well that worked out. Granted, I do like Ferguson. I think he's a great talent, but I don't think that the Cowboys are going to have to do a whole lot. So I'm still going to lean Hurst there because I do think that Young will use him as a safety blanket as we saw last week. I do think that continues. So big fan of that. I am a big fan of Hurst or Ferguson, so I'm happy to have him as well. Musgrave, William, Musgrave, Laporta, Juwan Johnson. Oh man, I am probably going to go Laporta there, just because that game is probably going to be another one that has a lot of scoring potential. I like Musgrave, but I want to see more out of that offense. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Green Bay and trusting them. Same thing with Juwan. The fact that Thomas is there has really eaten into it, and Miller's going to be back. So it makes me nervous on that. I'm still going to lean Laporta there. Really shut out in the first game. Granted, I don't think he's going to go catch 100% of his targets again, but it was very impressive for his first outing. Full PPR. Choose two. London, Pierce, Sutton, and Jigba. Oof. Man, Justin, that's a tough one. I'm going to lean probably going to go JSN because I do think Smith is going to be under siege, so he should be the one who's probably getting open out with DK. And then I'm probably going to go with the safe play of Pierce there. So those are the two that I'm going with is Pearson and Jigba. Anthony, Freiermuth, or Komet? Oh my gosh. Man, I'm so nervous with Freiermuth because of that chest injury. But Deontay being out, I think I'm going to go Freiermuth there. He should still be one of the bigger targets that he's going to be, especially with Johnson out. I think he gets a lot of targets, and that really helps boost him this week. Daniel Larson, Gibbs or Kelly? Been getting this a lot. I'm going really based off of the fact that I like the matchup and the fact that they said they were going to use Gibbs more. He looks really explosive. So I'm going to play Gibbs. Don't get me wrong. I have Kelly really high as well. It's just the fact that Kelly is going up against a Titan. So it's going to be a little tougher for him to score. I do understand that Gibbs is in that timeshare, but man, he has a better matchup and is so explosive. So it's hard to get away from that. Brian Levine. Let's see here. Jamal Williams, Joshua Kelly, or Breece Hall. Even with, oh my gosh, these are the ones that I have the most issue with. I'm probably going to go Hall here just because of the talent and the draft capital you put into him. I like Kelly, but again, that matchup is tough. Williams is going to be really TD dependent, and Hall also it's a tough matchup, but he's the one who usually has that breakaway run, and so that's the reason I'm going to head that way with him. Najee Harris or David Montgomery? Oh man, I am so nervous for Harris, man. He just isn't being used. He looks so slow compared to Warren. So I'm going to trust the TD opportunities for Montgomery in a game that they should be able to score pretty easily. Lauren, welcome in. Need to. Cooper, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin, or Nico Collins. Okay, Collins for sure. They're still saying that Cooper looks like he's going to be inactive, so that gets me away from him. Then it comes really close. It's a toss up between Moore and Thomas here for me. So I'm going to go with Thomas because I trust Carr more. I want to see more of DJ Moore, and the fact that how poorly he was used the first time. I do think his matchup's significantly better this week, and I do expect him to have a good game. But it's just tough for me to trust him after seeing how they're using him. So at the Bears, it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to go Thomas and Collis there for you, Lauren. Hopefully that helps out. Oh, Professor XTTV. What's up? Questionable Breece Hall or Khalil Herbert? Again, man, I can't trust the Bears. That's my only issue. If Hall had more work, it's just that he is so explosive. It's hard to get away from him. So I'm going to go with Hall here. Again, it's just how I have him ranked. The fact that he can have that breakaway run. I hate the matchup for him, but I do think he you even saw against the Bills how he had those big runs and really helped out his day. And Herbert with Johnson there, and the fact they have a healthy scratch on Foreman, I still just want to see how that offense ends up rolling through. So, ooh, interesting name. Okay, here it's really depending on what you're looking at. So if you're wanting the upside, I'm probably going to go Shaheed. Derek Carr likes the long ball. He had a lot of air yards last year, which made Shaheed very valuable in that potential role. And the fact that he was the one who caught that touchdown for the win, I would expect that again, just because Carr does like to do that and is more prone to doing it. Johnson, it's still curious to see how in this kind of a game script, how they'll actually use him instead of it being a game that they are completely out of already. So Big Juan, nice name. All right, I'm going to assume this is Marquise Brown and Elijah Moore. With the fact that Cooper is likely going to be out tomorrow, I'm going to roll with Moore here. I do think that he will see a lot of targets. The other possible uptick will go to Njoku, but the fact they were using him in the run game as well made me really excited. I just can't trust Cardinal right now. The one I'm closest to trusting is Connor, just because of pure volume and the fact that he's been being used so massively. It's hard not to. So I'm going to go with Moore there for you, Big One. All right. Your guys' names are just cracking me up. All right, Hurton. Gabe Davis or Zay Flowers. These are both really upside plays. The fact that Andrews back is hurting Flowers a little more, but they do seem to like him more. The fact that the Bills are playing the Raiders, who are probably going to kind of try and keep it them from having the long, big play, explosive play. I'm going to lean with Flowers here. I do expect him to have a decent usage, even with Andrews coming back. T-Jazz 210. Status on Breece Hall. Hope he plays. He's trending towards playing, so I'm not too worried about it. And I definitely prefer him over Pierce just because I'm not a fan of that matchup at all. Colts, I mean, they're fine against the run, but it's pure volume and trusting. I mean, even the fact that CJ Stroud's hurt, I have to still go Hall here and just hope for the best. Aren't you supposed to be working today? Sean McDermott, given the text of the line was, would you bench Dameon Pierce for your pit? Yes. And of them, I'm probably going to go with Evans here. He's just a touchdown machine. I know Neil absolutely has a affinity for Pittman, but I still struggle to trust Anthony Richardson. He is a really good runner, but I don't know who he's going to go for. If you're actually looking at people that you're interested in, I'm for just random waiver wire pickup, I'm looking at Dodds here for that reason. Andrew Nadler, Algier, or Gabe Davis. Again, depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for the upside, Davis is clearly the big play guy. I just think that they even said it today. They're still going to have a 50-50 split with Algier. And the fact that he saw the more valuable touches, in my opinion, it's going to be Algier with the goal line work and all that. It seems like he is still the guy that they're leaning on the most. So, hey, Polo, welcome in, man. Glad to see you here. Always love having you. Luke McG. All right. Jerry Jeudy, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Nico Collins, half PPR. Absolutely love that. I'm still going to go Collins. I have him the highest ranked currently, and it's mostly just because he's going to see all the targets, even with good news is if CJ Stroud goes out, guess what? He is still Davis Mills' favorite target. So that's going to work out either way. I do like Jeudy, but the fact that he's just coming back makes me a little nervous, and it's against a pretty solid defense in the Commanders. Outside of that, the Hall and Cook split I don't love, and the matchup is more difficult for those two. So I'm definitely going with the upside of Collins there for sure. Not wrong, man. I definitely can. I just don't be betting. That's where you get in trouble. You'll end up with a suspension if this is your side hobby. You can't have any money on it. It has to be for fun, Sean. All right, Nico Collins or Rachaad White. That's tougher. PPR, I'm going to go Collins for sure. It's probably Collins either way, but White has a good matchup. It's again just the fact that I'm more nervous than I expected to be with his setback last week and how much I really thought he was going to have a bigger game. They didn't use him as much as I expected. Sean Tucker seems to have somewhat of a role. It'll be very interesting to see how that breaks down. So I'm going to play it safe there and definitely go with Nico. Sorry about that. Jamal Williams, Brian Robinson, or Cortland Sutton. Full PPR. Pick one. Oi. Not a fan. All right. So I am probably going to go with Brian Robinson here. Denver run D isn't what it used to be. Williams, you're really hoping for a touchdown. That matchup isn't ideal, but he will see all the volume. And we saw what Sutton was in week 1. I don't think it's going to be much better for him in week 2, especially with Judy likely coming back. So Robinson seems like the safest option there for you. And I'm not a big fan of that for you. Big one, you're back. All right. Javonte Williams, Mostert, or DJ Moore. Ooh. Because it's PPR, I'm going to go with DJ Moore. But it's tough. Williams is going again in a split against the Commanders. Don't love that. And then Mostert really let me down last week. So with that in mind, and the fact that A-Chain is likely going to be active, I think that also hurts. And Mostert has been dealing with a knee issue, so don't love that for him either. So I'm going to go with Moore for sure there. Oh, man. Danny Ward's back. All right, Daniel, let's see here. Najee or DJ Moore PPR? I'll break this down into pieces. All right. PPR, it's going to be Moore just because, again, don't love how Najee looked in week 1 and how much they were using Warren. Dak or Russ? I'm going to go with the team that I know is going to win and pull up Dak there. Don't really love either for this week. And then we're looking at pick one in standard. I'm going to assume that's Amari Cooper, Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, Gus Edwards, and Rashee Rice. Of them, the only one I trust the workload in is Michael Thomas. Brown wasn't used as much as expected and absolutely hated that for him. Gus Edwards, I can't trust a Baltimore running back, even if it is a split with him and Hill. Didn't love that because it looked like Hill was getting more of the goal line work, and I don't love that. And the fact that Cooper is dealing with injury and Rice, I'm very curious on Rice, so I'm definitely holding on to him, but just have to make sure that's still the way it goes. So, all right. Spicy real. Hey man, anytime. It's a good time. So we're back Monday. We'll be doing Waiver Wire show. So if you want that, it's definitely a great way to help, and glad that you've made it over. All right, Jay Franny. James Cook or Brandon Ayuk? Man, after last week, Ayuk is just so hard to sit. That was a massive game, and I really thought it was going to go Debo's way. And in a matchup that they could dominate, I'm kind of nervous about it. So he's definitely the more risky play just because you never know how that offense is going to break apart and who's going to get what. So he definitely has the most upside, and it's definitely the risk. So if that's how you want to play it, that's great. James Cook is definitely the safe option. I think he has a great matchup. I'd expect him to get anywhere from 12 to 15 PPR points. It's just that you could easily drop you saw it last week, like a 30-point game. So if it's me, depends on what the rest of your team, but I'm probably going to roll out Cook and be safe and get the decent workload in a good matchup. So WC Nightmare. Oh, nice. All right. I'm assuming pick one, Moss, Hall, Nakua. Oh, man. Just because of the matchup, I'm going to go with Moss. I know it's risky. It's close with Hall. It's just the fact that he's splitting, and that I hate that matchup for him. And Moss is more likely to find the end zone. And I need to see Puka again. I hate the matchup for him. I think it's tough. If it was full PPR, it'd make it a little closer, but I trust Moss more and expect him to likely have the full job after we saw how poorly Deion Jackson played last week. Brian Levine, Godwin or Ayuk at flex? All right, just went on my Ayuk rant. He's definitely the upside play because it's PPR, and if you're wanting to play it safe, it's definitely Godwin there. It's hard to sit Ayuk because of how big of a game he had last week. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. You just kind of have to. I would go Godwin just because I wanted to make sure those points are solid, and I trust them more. sit Garrett Wilson for Elijah Moore or Jahan Dotson? Probably. In full PPR, probably. I'm going to go with Dotson, mostly because Surtain should be on McLaurin. McLaurin's dealing with turf toe, gives him a lot of opportunities. He's a big play guy as well. They like to use him in a lot of different ways. It's close with Elijah Moore just because I do think Cooper's out. But again, I want to see it first. I trust Dotson after last year, so I'm definitely rolling him out. Thoughts on deep bench stashes? Charbonnet, Bigsby, A-Chain, Hunt, and Elijah Dotson. Dotson is probably only be good while Eckler's out. I absolutely love the talent, but right now he's not somebody that you're likely holding on to. Hunt, you were hoping got signed. It hasn't happened yet. A-Chain, I don't love how he was already injured. Of them, I'm really looking at Charbonnet and Bigsby. So I would go personally Charbonnet just because of the fact that I think that he is a very talented back. I like Bigsby, but again, I expect him to be more goal line. Same thing with Charbonnet, but I do think Charbonnet can actually catch passes. So I think that makes it a little easier. So of them, it's going to be pretty much the order you have it. I'd probably move Hunt down just because he's not with a team, but that would be exactly how I'd have it ranked, Ryan. So Scary Terrier Pickens. Well, I was really high on Pickens, and then he popped up on the injury report. So still, I'm probably going to roll him out there with the fact that Deontay's out and that Surtain's a really good corner who's going to be on Terry McLaurin with the turf toe. So with that in mind, I can't bring myself to do it and play him. So it's going to be Pickens for me there, Andrew. See, Polo knows. Remember to join the Patreon. Already doing my work for me. All your fantasy football information also on Discord. Absolutely a good time. Hard not to love Polo and the work he does for us, which is just being awesome. Of course, we got to get the checks out for Polo. Him absolutely helping out there. Uh-oh. All right, Danny, let's see here. Rice, Juju, Mink. Oh, man. Honestly, your safest play is probably going to be Bourne there, but it's interesting. I like DPJ as a talent, but again, that offense last week really has me just confused on it. So of them, I'm trusting Bourne the most. I liked how Allen Robinson was used, but again, it was a 1 week thing. I want to see it again. So of them, I'm still going to roll out Bourne in a game that they should have to throw. So it'll be a fun one to see if he continues to be the guy and if Mac Jones trusts him. So, all right, Justin Webb, full PPR, Flowers or Godwin? Godwin's definitely the safer option. It's just the fact that Andrews is coming back really has me nervous for Flowers. I don't love it for him. So just to play it safe, I'm going to go Godwin. If you want to go for the upside, I absolutely can see Flowers being the absolute wide receiver one for that team and really just having a big day, but I can't bring myself to do it. Tony made it back. Purdy, man, that's a tough one. Okay. I am probably going to go with Richardson here. Just because it's a easy matchup. The fact that he can rush it in, which we saw last week. It's close with Purdy because Purdy's more likely going to go for the 200 plus yards with two passing touchdowns. It's just that rushing ability really boosts Richardson. So, and let's see, according to my rankings, that's how I have it too. Richardson 9, Purdy 11, and Watson 14. So, all right, who to flex? P-Dog Rush. P-Dog Rush? Yeah, there we go. Algier versus Green Bay, Dotson versus Denver, Nakua versus San Francisco. It does a little bit. I mean, Algier's definitely in the safe play, but I'm still going to roll out Dotson. As I said, Surtain's going to be on McLaurin with the turf toe. I think that gives him a lot of opportunities. A sleeper here is also going to be Samuel, and the fact that I do think they were using him in the backfield as well, and he saw a lot of solid targets. But I do think Dotson is the play you're probably going to roll out there. Bradley, welcome in. Dak is my QB. Absolutely, I'm starting Goff. At home, he has put up 25 fantasy points last year. All of last year, what his average was 25. I think it's 25.6. Absolutely at home, and the fact that he has a good matchup. It's hard to sit him there. He should still have to throw. I just think that he has a bigger day than Purdy. It's going to be pretty close. I just don't think Purdy has to throw a whole lot, which really hurts his value this week. So Nightmare's back. All right, thanks, man. Last question for me: Gus Edwards, Zach Moss, or Zay Jones? I'm going to go with Jones here. I think that game's going to be a shootout. It is close because I do think Moss is a much safer pick here. He will see the majority of the workload. It's a good matchup against the Houston Texans, who statistically have been one of the worst run defenses over the past 3 years, between 30 and 32 every year when it comes to the rush. And it actually hurts the quarterbacks the most. So that's part of the reason I'm nervous for Richardson. But the fact that he rushes kind of makes him in that area that he could easily be a good play for you. But that's kind of where I have him currently. So Raging Cajun 87. All right, sorry. Pitt, Bills, or Air. Oh, it's all defenses. Okay. Okay. Start Pittsburgh, the Bills, or Arizona. All right. Now I actually have to look these up. Looking at the Bills. We have the Bills against the Raiders. That's an okay matchup. Cardinals, I'm probably not going to play because it's a Giants who, granted, they looked bad last week, but it's tough to go against them. Pittsburgh also had a bad, man. I think you just have to roll off the Bills. I don't love it just because of the matchup, but I also don't. The fact that Pittsburgh lost Hayward really hurts them. I was really surprised at how well Arizona played, but I just can't bring myself to play them, especially after just 1 week. So I'm going to roll out the Bills there. All right. Oh man, already 30 minutes away. Whew. T-Jazz, you think T. Lawrence over 2 this week, even though Hill and Waddle might be top 10? The only reason that you would go, Lawrence, is the fact that the Patriots are a pretty good defense. This is a game that the Dolphins should win, but Bill Belichick knows what he's doing. While I expect Trevor Lawrence to actually have to throw a lot more, I said that granted last week with Goff and against the Chiefs, but this is a matchup that both don't have the best defenses, and the fact that it should be a shootout, I'm still going to go with Tua. I really don't think you go wrong, honestly, just because the two are just absolutely dynamite players. But it really comes down to the fact that I think Lawrence is going to have to throw more, and I'm going to guess Bill Belichick's going to try and keep the ball out of Tua's hands and try and maintain possession as long as he possibly can. So kind of how I have it there. Connor Smith, DJ Moore, or Elijah Moore? Have to go with both Moores, man. That's tough. I'm going to go with DJ as the guy I know should be the guy for the team. He should be the wide receiver 1 on that team. I like the idea of Moore. The fact they use him in the rushing game, I can't bring myself to do it. I want to see it again. Spicy riblets. I got a double flex half PPR with Pittman and R. White in right now. Okay. And Judy McLaurin on the bench. Honestly, you're probably fine. It's close with Pittman and Judy for me. But again, Judy's coming off an injury. McLaurin's dealing with an injury. He's going to see Surtain. Don't love either of those for you. So I'd probably just stick with what you have currently with Pittman and White and leave it at that, because it should be a pretty easy roll in there for you. On PPR, Moss or Kelly? I'm going to go with Kelly. Guys, close because it's standard. Yeah. I'm still going to go with Kelly just because of the fact I'm a Chargers fan. So the fact that I know that they want to really have a balanced offense, I would expect Kelly to score since Eckler's out. He should be the guy who is the one for his team. I actually have Moss and Kelly back to back right now. So that makes it unfortunately even tougher. Don't love that. But yeah, I'm still that's a tough one. You're really close on either. I'm going to go with Kelly just because I trust the Chargers offense, which I shouldn't do. Patrick, welcome in. Which three to start? Damian Pierce, James Cook, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams, Joshua Kelly. All right. It's definitely going to be Cook. Then it's PPR, so I'm going to go with Kelly. And then we get into an interesting spot. I think I'm going to go with David Montgomery there, with Kendre Miller coming back for the Saints. Williams won't see very much passing work. Again, it's not a great matchup either. Damian Pierce saw a good amount of the work, but again, it's the Colts. Don't love that for him. So I'm going to go with Cook, Kelly, and Montgomery. All right. Little thumb. Okay. Full PPR flex. White, Collins, Bourne. Oh. It's full PPR, so I'm going to go Collins there. I have him currently ranked as my wide receiver 20, so he's very high up there for me. It's going to be hard to beat that. And then tight end 1, Henry or Musgrave. Man, that's tough. I'm going to roll out Henry just because they have to pass it to somebody, and Juju's supposed to be back. But again, what he saw in week 1 and how Mac Jones used him, absolutely love that. Again, you're really hoping for a touchdown from either of these two, but it still makes me nervous. I want to see more out of Musgrave too, as he is a rookie player. So, Connor, DK, or Mike Evans. All right. So this is a very common question with the fact that pretty much the entirety of the O-line for Seattle has been hurt. I'm nervous for this team, as well as the fact that they are playing the Lions, who actually have a really decent defense. They should be able to get after Geno. Makes me nervous for him. That's part of the reason I have JSN so high. So I'm going to play Mike Evans here. The fact that he is TD dependent kind of makes me nervous, but the way he was used, he was actually saw a lot of good targets last week. Makes me think that he's going to have a lot of success this week. So I'm going to roll out Evans there. Happy go, David. Now that Rodgers is out, Wilson, Godwin, or Nakua. All right. I'm still going to roll Wilson here because it's standard. PPR, I'd probably put Godwin in, but I do think that Wilson has the talent to have a big game. Last year he was just fine with Wilson. Zach Wilson, sorry. Should make sure the two different are separated. But yeah, I do think that he will have a decent role. He should still be the guy. There's not really a whole lot of people who are going to be eating into his workload. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with Garrett still, and the fact that it is it's a standard league, so that helps him as well. All right, Alan Parker. Let's see here. Cooper is out. Who would you start? London, Jones, Davis. It's Jones for me. Liked how it's used. He's opposite of Ridley. Thought it was going to be Kirk, but they switch between Ingram and Kirk in the slot too much, and I think that really hurts him. And Jones is out in wide receiver, 2 wide receiver sets. So I'm going to roll out Jones there. Absolutely hate the matchup for London too. Ryan Morawski. Start Breece Hall. Don't have any other. Really depends on the other options here, but I'm fine rolling him out. I think he's going to play. He should be completely fine. I'm not too worried about his usage. He's really going to be based on that big play again, which don't love for him, and the fact that it's a tough matchup, but I do think he is the more explosive back of the two of him and Cook. So that Rage the Kitchen, you the best. I'm glad you're here, man. Always a blast. I continue to do what I can. And so we started this to try and help people get a little more of an explanation as to why, instead of just getting one-word answers, which isn't ideal. But wow, it's been Lil Wall? Full PPR, Gibbs or Algier, and Lockett or Godwin. Okay. So it's Gibbs and Godwin for me. Algier is going to be the goal line back. Absolutely love that, but it's PPR, so I'm going to go Gibbs. Absolutely loved what I saw out of him. And again, talked about how I'm nervous for Seattle against the Lions defense, and the fact that they're missing a lot of their O-line makes me nervous for them. So Daniel Ward, he's back. Mixon, James Cook, Brees Hall, Keenan Allen. Pick 3. It's Allen, Cook, and Hall for me. Again, I'm nervous for Joe Burrow. I don't love the matchup for him, and the fact that Mixon just did not look good last week. I'm hoping that changes this week, but until I see it, I'm not willing to roll him out there for you. Then in PPR needs 1 RB and 1 flex. A-Rob, Roschon Johnson, Deion Jackson, Pirine, Ford, or Hunter Henry. Definitely going to be Allen Robinson, and then this is man. I guess you have to go with. I don't love that. It's PPR, so I'm going to go with Roschon, but man, that's tough. I don't love either of those options for you. Hey, Devin, you're back. Start 2. Michael Thomas, Christian Kirk, P. Ryan, Zay Jones. It's Jones and Thomas for me. Absolutely love the matchups for them, how they were used. Nervous for Kirk, and man, I hate the fact that P. Ryan's running into that front 7 of the Commanders, and the split with Javonte hurts him. Jimmy Neutron, love it. Gimme? We'll see. Lockett or Robinson? It's Robinson still. I am just so nervous on Lockett and that Seattle O-line. I can't bring myself to do it. So good luck. Anytime, Travi. We hoping it helps. Daniel Ward, Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, Ed Henry. Man, I just have to see it. Have to see more of the how they break down with the Texans. Henry, I loved how he's used. The fact that he continues to have that role and has no worry or competition really from the other tight ends. Khalil or Pickens, half PPR. Oh man. Really depends on what you need. I'm probably going to roll out Herbert just because I'm scared. Pickens has popped up on the injury report. Didn't love that. And the fact that I need to see this offense run. I actually think that the people who have more success are going to be Freiermuth and Austin. Maybe even Allen Robinson, which is also why I have them all above him. Pickens doesn't really fit into that role that Deontay Johnson being out would be. So I'm going to roll out Herbert just so I can kind of wait and see. Yeah, it's still Herbert there in full PPR too. So DMSR 10. PPR, Williams, Pacheco, Zay Jones. Oh, man. I'm chasing upside here and going with Jones. It's close with Pacheco just because I do think he is a much safer play and has a good matchup. But loved how he was used last week, but I think I'm going to go with Jones, chase that upside. Elijah Moore or Tyler Algier? All right. So it's PPR. Man, I still have to see it out of Moore. So I'm going to roll Algier here. Even though it is PPR, I normally would go with the wide receiver. I just do think that Algier has a set role and will be the one who is getting the goal line touches. So I'm going to roll Algier there. Lockett or Robinson PPR? It's still Robinson for me. I'm assuming that's Allen, and I think that based on how often he was used last week, there's plenty of opportunities for him. They're going to have to throw. So will be interesting. Also don't trust that run game, so that helps them as well. Michael Green, Javonte, Jamal, hate to have to choose from them. I agree. So I'm going with the guy who's more likely to get the touchdown in Jamal Williams. Even with Kendre Miller back, he's should still be the goal line back. That's part of the reason they brought him in last year is the fact that he should have that job. So it makes him a much more interesting play to me. And that's part of the reason I'm going to roll him out there. So Jerry Jeudy or Christian Kirk? Man, I'm nervous for Kirk. I have to see it from him. Even though Jeudy is coming off of an injury, I'm still more willing to roll him out there because I do expect him to be the clear one for that team. So I'm going to roll Jeudy there. That's actually a really tough one. Thanks, Daniel. Inarum? Oi. Full PPR, flex White, Collins, or Bourne? All right. Still going to go Collins, having the highest rated out of all of them. And then it's really close. I'm going to go with Henry just because, again, I trust Jones to go do more. I have to see more out of Musgrave uh, and that Packers offense. Will Wale, Algier or Zay Jones? Because it's PPR, it's Jones. Also think that it's a lot of upside, so I'm going to take that. Algier's definitely the safer play for sure, but I can't say that him seeing a whole lot of passing work is believable. I think last week he saw 3 targets, Bijan 6, and so I'm still going to go with Jones there. Just more upside in a game that has the opportunity to score. Chris Marega, Jones or Pickens? Kind of already touched on it. The fact that I don't expect Pickens to be a dominant force. I think it's going to be more between Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin, and Freiermuth really getting the uptake with Johnson out. I have to see that offense work a little better. I trust, hate to say it, but I actually trust Zay Jones and the Lions offense, not the Lions, the Jaguars offense to move the ball. He's the 2, so it's definitely going to be him for me. Harris, Moss, or Herbert? Oh, man, that's tough. I'm probably going to go with Moss as a guy who should have complete control of the job and going against one of the worst defenses against the run. Mike Williams or Michael Thomas? Man, it depends on what you need. I think Williams is definitely the bigger play guy, so that's how I would roll with it. But I completely understand going with the safe route and taking Michael Thomas, is going to see a set amount of passes. It's going to probably be the one who really helps the tempo of the offense. Is going to be the one you're looking for first down, while Olave and Rashid kind of are the deeper threats. He's going to be the one who's closer to the line of scrimmage along with Juwan Johnson. So Danny's back. All right. Pickens, Puka, Brian Robinson, or Davis. I'm going to go with the safe option here and go with Robinson. I know he's going to touch the ball, has a decent matchup, kind of has taken over that backfield. Then DK or Najee. Because it's PPR, I'm going to go DK. Hope he catches one and takes it. And then let's see, Lockett, Herbert, Kyron. Probably going to go Herbert there, but it's tough. Lockett can always come up with a big one and score. That's kind of his go-to. Have to see it out of Williams again, so I'm going to roll with Herbert. And then let's see, Puka, Moore, Kirk. Going to go with Moore there. Don't love any of the options, but the fact that Cooper is likely going to be out makes him the one I'm going to. And then Carr. Daniel Jones, Carr, and Tannehill. I'm going to go with Carr. Love his passing options. Don't trust the other 2, especially how bad Tannehill looked last week. Quay, welcome in. All right, Dobbs, Lockett, or Connor. It's going to be Dobbs for me. I think that he is the one especially with Watson out, has a matchup, seems to be the one that is looked towards for the end zone. So love that for him. And Connor is probably your safest option if you want to do that instead of Dobbs. Completely understand. He's the one who's going to be guaranteed to touch the ball and more than likely going to be the one he is the workhorse back for the Cardinals. So really depends on what you need there. I can only do so much. My pronunciation on these is tough for sure. So need one RB and one flex. Montgomery, Dillon, Algier, Nakua, or Lockett. Definitely going to be Montgomery, and then I'm probably going to go Algier and just hope for all the touchdowns. Puka offers you upside, but again, I have to see it again, and that is a tough matchup for him. And Lockett not having the O-line that he needs for Smith to have a lot of success. Smith just looked completely shattered last week, and that makes me nervous for him this week. So Tutal or Kendrick Bourne. It's going to be Bourne for me. Again, tough matchup for Tutu, and the fact that he really just had a couple big plays that really saved his day and a touchdown, made it a really big week for him for the 119 yards. Bourne is going to be that more consistent player, especially in any kind of PPR. He's definitely a safer option. So I'm going to roll out Bourne there. Puka or Zay Flowers? Oh, man. It's probably going to be Flowers still, again, just due to the matchup. I have to see more from Puka. Granted, I just the fact that he is a 5th rounder makes me nervous. So I'm going to trust Flowers, who was picked in the 1st round, as somebody I really hoped would be a Charger, but didn't happen. So the talent is absolutely there. He's a awesome player, and even with Andrews back, I'd expect him to be the lead wide receiver in that offense. Danny trying to get his defense here. Texans, Broncos, or Colts? I'm probably going to go with the Colts. It's really close. They're all right in the same area for me, but that's kind of how I have to roll it out. So definitely how I'm going to roll that one for you. Oh my gosh, Steve, it's such Gary Noah, huh? All right, Noah Gray again. Kelsey's going to be back. He's going to see. I'd guess he probably sees 3 targets this week, so not ideal for him, but a lot of hope. Yeah, we'll see if he gets knocked out again. It could be interesting. Ward again. Man, Danny, you're killing me. It's standard, golly. I'm probably gonna go with Davis this week. So yeah, it's gonna be Davis. I think there's more upside. I think Mooney is safer probably, but again, I think they're going to try and involve more this week. The fact that Moore had a significantly tougher matchup last week, I think really limited him. So I think Moore will get the looks this week, and so that should help boost him back up. Would he drop Ravens for Colts? Man, that's tough. I think you can easily stream defenses, so I'm fine dropping them, but just the number of injuries that the Ravens are dealing with, I have to play the Colts here. So yeah, I guess if that's your best option to drop, go for it. Happy to help, Jimmy. Oh man, we're already down to 10 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. I'm back. Puka news. Uh-oh. That's not good. Puka or Zach Moss? I guess I have to see what the news is. Brown to Cooper. I'm assuming you're still talking about his injury being popping up last week. I'm still going to. I think Moss is a safer play. So if you're worried about him, you're probably going to roll out Moss. I didn't love the matchup anyway, just because of the fact that he. I mean, I have to see it. It's hard to trust somebody that sees that many targets. It's his first time. He's a 5th rounder. It is impressive that he did so, but it's half PPR. I'm going to go with the guy with an easier matchup in Moss. Probably don't love it, but kind of have to. That's what I'm saying. I know yesterday he had an injury, but I guess I can look and see. Yeah, so yesterday he popped up in the report with the oblique injury. He is questionable. I'm not seeing anything that's recent though. Let's see. Come on. If we were doing this, it'd be latest, and they are slow down. I'm really not seeing anything recent. So I'm guessing that's what it is. It's just the fact that he was listed as questionable with the oblique injury. Lil Wale, benching G. Wilson for Puka and Zay Jones. Am I crazy? I get it because you're nervous about the use for Wilson. I'd still probably play Wilson over Puka, but I completely get it. It's a little early to need all the upside, but completely understand why you're rolling that out. And it's tough, man. Puka definitely showed out in week 1, so it makes it interesting. Any of these defenses better than Tampa versus Chicago? Let's see. Washington, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, KC, Chargers. Not really. The safest of them is probably Washington, but I'm fine rolling out Tampa versus Chicago. I think that's a pretty good matchup, so I'm not too worried about it there. Tony's back. All right, Tony. Kincaid or Komet? I'm still going to go Komet because he is the only one there. The issue for Kincaid really is the fact that, as we kind of all noticed and saw, the fact that Knox is still involved and still part of that offense. It makes it hard for me to get away from fully trust him. I do like the fact that he ran all the routes or matched Knox in his usage, but again, it was a weird game, so I need to see more out of Kincaid first. So I'm still going to roll out Komet there. All right. Jose Vega. Let's see. Thomas or Hopkins? Hopkins is still dealing with that injury. Makes me too nervous. I'm going to roll out Thomas. I know it's probably not the ideal situation, but I can't bring myself to play Hopkins even in the matchup. The fact that he was banked up a last second active today makes me nervous for him. Could very easily re-injure himself, but I'm probably going to roll out Thomas there. Well, we all expected it to be Kyron anyway. Not surprised that Akers was going to be out. It's just I really hate the matchup for him. I'm going to roll out Harris. I don't love it either, but if it was PPR, it'd probably make me move to Williams, but I can't just based on the fact that I don't know that. I'd expect more work for Harris, even though he looked bad. I do think this matchup's a little better for him. So, yeah, that's rough. Hate that for you. I really hope this year would be a much bigger improvement for Najee. Oh, 5-minute warning. Wow, we're already getting to that point. That's just crazy. I really should be working on. So it is PPR. That makes it. Oh, man. I guess if you're chasing the upside, go with Williams there. I hate it. But Harris just did not look good in that first matchup. So that's how I'd end up rolling with it and just hoping for the best. Man, I hate that for you for sure. That's definitely not an ideal situation. That looks like might be close to being done. Oh, yeah. And show up tomorrow. I mean, honestly, we have waiver wire going on. We're still going to be available to answer start-sit questions. Really hope you guys had a good time. Thank you for showing up. No, this was a little different, but I wanted to get it done and see if it was any kind of success. And based on the number of questions we got, I feel like it was decent. So we'll probably end up doing it again next week. Hopefully we helped more than we hurt you guys. It should be a fun slate of games today, and really just hoping for the best outcome for sure. Yeah. Is sitting. He not a healthy scratch. Oh, yeah, that's either way, not ideal. That's a rough one out there. Need to remove him from my rankings, so that's the case. Drop him all the way down to the bottom. I can remove him. He's out. Let's see if there's anybody else I just have really high. Kelly I have ranked at RB15. Ugh. Didn't say healthy or not. That's never an ideal situation. Hopkins, DK, Elijah, Moss. Oh, man. I'm going to go DK just because he's a powerful person. If you want to play it safe, it's Moss. But, man, you kind of have to roll out DK just because he does have that ability to go off. I mean, you saw him chase down Buddha, and he's just a physical freak when it comes to athleticism. Points per first down. Nice. Super flex. Need one. Dak, Tannehill, Young, P. Ryan, bonus at 350 and 400. Oh, man, that's tough. I don't love any of those options. I'm probably going to roll out Dak and just hope that he throws a lot, but I'm nervous for that. Tannehill didn't look great. All right, fine. We'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, as always, you guys, keep up the nonsense. Have some fun.